But the cool thing about it is, like you're dealing with elk, you need to get into the manual mode to learn how to shoot manually, to keep your ISO sensitivity as high as you can get it without just totally getting, you know, all these goofball black dots all over it. But you can change your ISO sensitivity, and then you counteract it. You want to be shooting probably almost wide open. All camera lenses, their optimum ability or sharpness is 1 to 2 stops down from wide open. So if your camera is a f2.8 lens, which most of yours won't be, but mine is, then 2 stops down, f5.6 should be kind of the optimum in terms of sharpness and quality for taking pictures. But if you're trying to shoot something in the dark and you need to open up wide open, do it. Just do it, you know, and try to get, you don't want the elk to be on the edges of your exposure. Again, here's another opportunity. When I talk about control, you are in control of what's in your picture and what's not in your picture. All right, another point of control. You've got all these controls that you can handle. You've got all these settings in your camera that you control. And you also control what's in the picture and where it's in the picture and all these other settings. So we're going to get into that now. Everybody have a, lift up my clicker. How are you on time, David? I haven't been watching.
All right, it's 10 till 8, so.
Whoa. Okay. All right, here we go. What is a good composition? All right. A pleasing arrangement of objects, mass, lines, and contrasts of colors to form a harmonious whole. That means you look at it, you like it, basically. All right, that's a good picture. If you like it, it's a good picture. The question is, why do you like it? Okay, then it gets tricky, and we start asking ourselves some questions. So, here's what we got to figure out. These are the 3 basic areas that help create a good picture. The technical quality, the impact, and the composition. All right, technical. Some of this is just common sense type stuff. Obviously, you want to be as still as you can. You talk about, you know, elbows in and, you know, hold it tight and point of contact and so on. Focus. If you're taking a picture of a person, it's the eyes that are more important than anything else. I don't care about their nose, their teeth, their ears, their, you know, whatever. It's your eyes. When you're talking to people, it's eye contact. When you're communicating with a picture, it's eye contact. So if the eyes are in focus, it's good. If they're not in focus, it bothers you. You may not even know why, but it's the eyes. Now that I've told you that, you'll never look at a picture the same way again, which is a good thing. All right? That's a step forward in being able to take good pictures, is know what makes a good picture. Okay. Depth of field. That's a control thing. All right? You can control what's in focus and what's not. That gives you creativity license. You can do what looks good to you. Hopefully what you like, someone else likes. That's how photographers sell their stuff. They create stuff that other people want to buy. If they don't, they go back to the drawing board and figure out, what am I doing wrong? Lighting, all right? You control lighting. You don't control the sun, but you control where the sun is in relationship to what you're taking a picture of and where you're standing. So in that sense, you have control of the sun. If the sun isn't there, then you have some other issues to deal with. But lighting is all about control. Where you are, where your subject is, and what the lighting is on them, front, back, and side. All those give you different effects. Some people like some things better than others. Again, you're controlling what's in the picture and what isn't. Exposure. Some people like to take pictures in the early morning. They like that warm, mellow, soft, golden look. Some people like to take pictures late in the afternoon, that orangey, you know, real fiery kind of orange yellow. Some people don't care and they just shoot them straight up, sun directly overhead, and get these god-awful hollow eyes and gaunt faces and all kinds of stuff. So, when you're taking a picture, what's your goal? My goal is to take a picture that you look at and you keep looking at it. And you look at it for a while. And you might pull away and you might come back to it. In order to make you keep looking at my picture, there has to be something about it. Either it tells some kind of a story that you relate to, or it has some kind of a mood that emotes from it, or there's something really cool about the aesthetic design or colors or patterns or something in it that just catches your eye. But all of those, one of those areas, something has to be in there along these lines. Storyline, a pattern, a mood, to make people want to connect with that photo and like that photo. So, the first thing you want to do is get closer. When I would take pictures at awards banquets, and the awards are being handed out up here, and I'm right here taking pictures, invariably, there's somebody standing in the back of the room taking a picture. And I'm like, come up here with me and get your picture up here, please. Because what they're getting back there is a lot of nothing. And if they did get, let's say the exposure was good, and I'd say 99 times out of 100 it won't be because it's too dark because their flash doesn't reach this far. If they were to get a good lit picture, the person getting the award is like this in this big picture. You want to get closer for better impact, okay? Shoot close for impact. Shoot close. The closer you are, the more impact that image is going to have. You have more control of what's in the picture and what isn't in the picture. You're in control, okay? The rule of thirds is this thing that was created. There's not really a lot of science behind it. They've done some research on it and so on. But the bottom line is, you take your image area and you divide it two ways. And where the points cross are the points of greatest interest, or the areas of greatest interest in the photograph. Notice that there's no crossing lines or point of interest in the dead center. So when you do a portrait of somebody, their eyes should never be right here. Up here, okay. Over here, okay. But never dead center. That is a boring, boring, boring photograph. Not a good portrait. So, where are his eyes? If we put those lines across there, they're just barely above center. So how do we fix this? What do we do with it to fix this photograph to maybe add a little more interest to it? Move. How do we move his eyes? That's a good answer. It really is. Huh? Crop it. Let's crop it. All right, where can we crop it? Where's there not a whole lot of action going on? Which? Right side? What? I'm not getting this.
Bottom and the right.
Bottom and the right. All right. So, how about that? We took some off the bottom, we took a lot off the right. His eyes are in a totally different place. The action is going on up here, okay? Eyes up here, action up here. This is sort of kind of dead space, but it's all right. This is what's called leading lines, all right? Your eyes, Matt laughs at me, but I'm serious about this. There's studies on it. He doesn't believe me. We have this ongoing dialogue about taking photographs of people, all right, portraits. Which side do you light them on, a portrait, all right? This light's coming in from the left side. I like that better than light coming in from the right side, although light coming in from the right tends to be more dramatic. Why? Because it opposes our senses. How do you read a newspaper? top to bottom, left to right. Light coming in from the left, your eyes are going to come into a picture from the left. Just natural what we do. We read left to right. So, just happen to have kind of a leading line here of form and light coming this way into the picture. And your eyes are going to stop at his eyes. And maybe see what he's looking at. And so you're looking here, you look, so your eyes might come up this way, wander into his eyes, say, what's he looking at? Oh, he's looking at this thing right here. And this, there's superfluous information down here. This is all the main action right there. That's the way you would read that picture. Does that make sense? And you never knew you did that, did you? But that's what you're doing. That's what's going on in your head. So if you know that going into it, then you can light for that. If you light it now from the other side over here, what's going on, and we'll get to this in a minute, is called frame movement. You're lighting over here on this side. So you're coming in this way, and you get over here, and everything's lit on this side. You kind of stop over here, because that's where all the light is. And you want to see what's going on. That's kind of a dramatic, enter, stop. That's what you want to do, right? You want to stop and look at your photograph. So that's a dramatic way to light. Both lightings are perfectly good, just maybe a little different, outcome at the end. Unless they're both intended to make people stop and look at your photo. Then they both work. Does that make a lot of sense? Do you understand the concept that we're dealing with here? It's your choice. You're choosing, you're controlling how you do this. And after the fact, we made this picture better. Another reason to have lots and lots of pixels so you can throw some away. We just threw some pixels away, probably a quarter of that original frame that we had, we just threw away. But we have enough left to still make a good quality picture. Okay? Vantage point. If I were to take a picture of the president of the university, he's standing up here. Would I stand up on the stage to take a picture of him? Would I lay on the floor to take a picture of him? Would I sit in the chair to take a picture of him? Would I just stand in front of him? What do you think would be the best vantage point?
I would be standing to the side, but that's just.
Okay, just kind of stand to the side. So I'm not in front of him, I'm not between him and whoever he's up there for. Okay, I like that. If I had my pick, I would be sitting in a chair to one side. And I want to shoot slightly up at him. Why?
Because he was showing his subject, he is the president.
He's president. He's in a position of power. He's got more power than I do. So I'm not his equal, so I shouldn't be shooting eye to eye. That's my take on it. Okay? Somebody else might differ. And I certainly am not going to be shooting from a ladder, shooting down on it. That is, the only time I would do that is if there's this huge crowd around you. I saw a picture taken at the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, all these guys are running around and they're just hugging each other, and there's 10,000 media people on, trying to all get their picture, to get that perfect picture of them for their magazine or whatever it is. I saw a picture that was published of Ray Lewis hugging, somebody else. And they're clasped together, head to head, and he's kind of looking up. And the guy had taken this picture, but I call it a Hail Mary, basically. He just holding his camera up there and shooting away and hoping he gets something. And he got one. He got a really nice one up over time. If you're in a crowded place like that, and the only thing you can do is, get up on a ladder or a chair or just Hail Mary, you got your picture. Then you succeeded. That's a good thing. But if you have any kind of control at all and you think through the situation, I just automatically, if I know that, this is going to be going on here, I'm going to figure out where the best angle is and try to see if I can get my seat one side or the other.
With the digital age, do you think there are more, I know you probably have saved thousands in film.
Oh, man. Yes.
So there's a better chance of getting that Hail Mary shot now because you're going like this and go, I can erase this and get this all back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't care. If I waste, I got 5 of them out of, they're not in focus, and as some are overlit, whatever, but I got 5 good ones or 3 good ones, even 1 good one. I got it, the rest I can throw away, don't care. Yeah, I have stories when I was shooting film. I climbed a tower to take a picture of an orchard. And I'm up in that tower, and I get up there, and I photo this gorgeous light, everything was great. I take a picture, I look around, I take another picture, and then I realize that was my last exposure of that roll. I don't have another roll of film with me. That's all I got that day. 2 pictures, and I came back down.
Yeah, I spent a whole night on the Hale-Bopp Comet with no film in the camera. It was an old.
I tell people, I also paint houses, my other job that I've been doing for a long time. And if you've done anything for a long time, you've got stories. I've got stories, no film, no memory card. I had to go run the store because I didn't have a memory card in my bag. What are you thinking, Stephen? Where are you? It happens if you're doing anything for any length of time, you've got all the stories in the book. And there's always another story to add to it. So, vantage point is really important. And the framing movement, that has to do with, again, the way we look at a picture. The framing movement says, if this is my picture frame, and I'm the subject, do I stand on this side? Or do I stand on this side? Or do I stand in the middle? And if I'm on this side, do I face this way? Or do I face this way? Or here? Or here? Do I face this way? Or this way? And if there's somebody else in the picture with me, where do I position them for a photo? It might depend on who they are. If it's the president of the university, and let's say me, all right, I got some award. And the photographer is there. The photographer should set them up, me over here, the president over here. The position of power, you read left to right, so you would come into the picture, the position, power, you're facing the person with the power, okay? It's called movement. If it's just one person, I would have them, say they're standing against a tree, all right? They're just leaning up against a tree. All right, you can have them, anyway, I would have them like this. The tree is right here on this third, and they're right in front of it, leading into the picture. As opposed to the tree over here, leading in this way. Why? I already told you why.
You read left to right.
All right, so you read left to right. You're coming into left. What am I saying to you when you come to read this picture?
Don't look any further.
Stop. You know, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking somewhere else. Or, hi, how you doing? Come on. Understand that? Makes sense? Those are the things that are going on in the picture. Sometimes we don't know it. Other people may look at it and not know why they like it. But those are the kind of things that are going on in their head. Now, we live in a very diverse society. So, what if we have South American people look at it? How do they look at it? Well, they read the same way we do. What about the Asian community? They read the opposite way. Now all bets are off. Now you got to figure out something new. So you need to play to their aesthetic. They love, aesthetic value. So beauty, colors, patterns. All right, it's a whole new set of things you got to think about. You got to think, all right, who's the audience that I'm trying to create this picture for? And what do I need to do? What kind of lighting do you think they would like? And what kind of subjects would they like? They like animals, they like people. They like documentary, they like wildflowers. What do they like? And what kind of light do I use? And what kind of settings? How kind of depth of field? A lot of questions. But as you answer those questions, you figure out how to take a good picture. So, you want to keep your picture simple. Remember, you have control of what's in it and what's not. So you want your subjects in there, everything else you want to eliminate as many of them as possible, which means you're probably going to move in a little closer. Depends on your subject. A flower, most likely, if you want to get any part of the stem, it's going to be a vertical photo. A landscape, it's going to be horizontal. Just the nature of a landscape is horizontal. unless you're dealing with trees that are mostly vertical, and you're, you know, that's your subject in that landscape are the trees. It could go either way. Most likely, a tree is going to be a vertical. And you're always thinking about where to place the subject in the picture. And sometimes it has to do with the lighting. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. But you're thinking through all these things, and always trying different points of view. I don't think I put any pictures in here. No, I didn't. I have a picture. If you're ever on campus at UK and come over to the A Communications Department, you go into our main office. When you walk in the door, on the wall, there's a picture of a flower. I took that picture. Bill Messner, the other photographer, used to be here before Matt, and I were over in the Arboretum, and we took a picture of this flower. And if you walked up the path to this flower, you might walk right past it. Because if you look at my shoe, that flower, the whole thing, leaves and everything, was only about this big. And the flower itself was only about this big. But the picture on the wall is practically the size of that board, of just the flower. And we had to get down with a tripod, way down close, take this real close macro. And we played with these lights, you know, artificial light coming in from the sides. This crazy picture that you can't believe came from that little plant. But that's the beauty of trying all these different things. You know, not only a point of view, but change the light on it. And what if the light comes from this way, or what if it comes from this way? Low angles. If you're shooting pictures of little puppies, all right, don't shoot up here looking down at them. Get down there and roll around on the ground with them. You're going to have some really cool pictures. But they don't let you do that first, right? But all those things play into this thing. We got time-wise.
It's 10 after 8, so it really.
10 after?
10 after 8.
Okay, not a problem. We're not done yet. Okay. Any questions on all that stuff? I mean, that's a lot of stuff, okay? This is probably one of the key things. If you can get a grasp on all of that that's going on in your camera, if you can set your settings so you save as much of a picture. Okay, let me run through this. I'm going to take a picture with this camera. Now, if I shoot what's called RAW. RAW means that I don't have to worry about any of the settings on my camera because I'm going to deal with all those settings later. All this camera is going to do is all the information that comes into it is going to get saved. All of it. Okay? RAW means I capture everything. And I can then use software later on to set all the other things. Now, some things I can't set, like the depth of field, but I can change the color temperature, so I can make a cloudy, overcast day. What kind of a color scheme is a cloudy, overcast day going to give me? Gray, blue-gray, kind of drab, right? I can take that day and make it look warm. I can change that color temperature to do that. I can take an orangey afternoon fixture and make it look like midday. I can take an early morning yellow fixture and make it look 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Or I can make it look like 6 o'clock, you know, make the warm yellow look like a fiery orange red. You can do all those things with raw images later on. You're still composing the picture the way you normally would, thinking about depth of field, what's in it, what's not, where the subjects are in it, your lighting, all those things. You're still dealing with all those things, but there's a lot of the other things you can do later, so you don't have to worry about all of that. And it gives a lot more control.
So would you only use RAW if you were gonna like work on your picture later, like if you were gonna change some things about it?
In our situation where we do a lot of our stuff for displays, for the 4-Color Egg magazine and different things, we need that control later. So we can deal with all that. There's a lot of controls you can have, even in terms of lighting. You know, if I take a situation and I'm taking a picture and the table's in the foreground, it's going to capture more of my flash than anything else. It's going to be a lot brighter because it's whiter. Well, I can go in and I can darken down the front edge of that so that the table doesn't take your eye off of the people. And there's some controls like that you can do with RAW. You can do that with JPEGs too, but here's the problem. A JPEG is a set defined. A RAW image, when I capture it and I manipulate it, then I save it out. I can't save over top of a RAW image. You cannot save over top. You have to save it out as a JPEG or something else. So you always have that original there. If you take a JPEG and you manipulate it and you mess around with it and you forget to change the name of it, and you save over top of it, you just lost your original. Okay, that's a whole nother ballgame. We're going to talk about that, down the road in terms of organizing your images and naming them and renaming them and a lot of that stuff. There's a whole lot that goes on there that we just don't have time to get into. But we will talk about that in the series. Probably the third session that we do, where we'll start dealing with archiving and renaming and how to set all that stuff, how to find them again, and all those good things. Got sidetracked. Where was that? Oh, JPEGs. So you're capturing JPEGs. What happens is, based on the settings in your camera, you take a picture, it comes in, it goes through this process, and then it goes to the memory card, and it does this operation based on what you told it to do, in terms of how many megapixels does it throw away, what kind of quality did you want, how much did you want to compress the quality that you had, okay, and all of that goes in your card. So at the best, you take a picture and you have the best quality, the least amount of compression, you still threw away at least 20% of the pixels you started with. Because your camera it's sort of like a betting game. How many pixels can you throw away and still recreate the original image? That's what you're betting on. And the more you throw away, the less opportunity you have of the camera, of the image remembering all the shades of color that you had in that original. That's why you want to save more, not less. So memory's cheap, save it. Hard drives are not that expensive. When you're putting all this stuff on your computers and your hard drives and everything, have a good hard drive and have a backup. That's something else we'll talk about later. And I have some stuff that I still don't have totally backed up, so I'm as guilty as you are. But I just got a newsletter from a friend who's over in Louisville that's in a ministry, and his computer crashed and he had no backup. None. And he lost like 8 years of newsletters and all kinds of information. And he said, I know, I should have had it backed up, but I didn't. Well, that's why we have backups, and we have a backup plan. And you should have at least 2 copies of everything, and the pros should have 3. In the ideal world, you have 3 copies of every image, and one of those sets of images is somewhere else. So if this building burns to the ground, I still have them on this hard drive out there. Okay? That's in the ideal world. We don't all do that. Questions? I mean, that's a lot of information, I know. We've gone a lot of way. But, so we still have like 50 minutes. All right, I need 4 people. Quick. Okay, come on over here. I'll hold this one. All right. Sit up here. Hold your picture out so they can see it. All right. You now are experts at choosing good pictures. Pick the best picture out of this group. It's not a bidding war. Whose? Hers? Okay. You sure? How many like hers? How many like his? Okay, cool. How many like his? And her. That's Jerry. Sarah has Jerry. All right.
This one here's the camera in it, and that one's boring.
Which one?
The last
That one? He's an economist, what can I say? The background of that one's too much? There's a lot of stuff in there, isn't it? And it's all in focus.
But it's got a cat on.
All right.
You don't want to be looking at cow.
Okay. What is this profession? What is this profession? Porter to camera. So what's that profession? What? Profession. What profession?
I can't tell what it's got.
Huh?
She's got a metal, what's it called, right? Yeah, clipboard.
What's his profession? You didn't know, you don't know what I told you. You have no idea. You have no idea. Could be a columnist, could be a, you know.
It's Jerry, yeah, I got that. Economist.
Jerry's his name. He's an economist, he's an economist, yeah. So, ag economist. She's a Forester. He's in media, electronic media. She's a teacher. Okay. Now, that's part of the clue to help you pick which one is a good picture. If you can figure out what they do in that picture, if there's something interesting in that picture about what they're doing that connects you with them, that's helpful. But there's a lot of other things. The lighting, position of the person, all right? He's off to the side, like we talked about, that framing movement, all right? He's on the side, faced in. She's on the side, faced in. He's actually on the side, faced in. She's facing the other way. Uh-oh. Not necessarily, but in this situation, it does work against her. Okay? Because she's working from this side, not this side. If this was flipped,
But
it would
if
be a
you,
stronger picture.
if you want to look though, if your focus is on what she is doing, her lecture, you know, you are looking at what she's doing, what she's, I mean, I can't see what.
If there weren't a set of eyes in there, I'd say yes. But as soon as you put the eyes in there, you're going to the eyes. You're not going over here unless there's something down here that tells you to look up here. All right? There has to be some more information in this picture. That's why Life magazine used to be the ultimate in terms of storytelling. The picture would draw you in. There was a story in just looking at the picture. The caption would explain more about what was going on in the picture, add a new dimension to the story. And then the whole story that was written around it filled in all the details. And they all worked together. That was, if you want a good example of telling a story, buy all the Life magazines you can get your hands on. Because that was the best ever. Okay. Lighting. Okay, which one has the best lighting? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2? 3? 4's even. This is even. That's dramatic. All right? 3 has the better lighting. Because of the drama, it lights the face, all right? But I think that's the best. In terms of detail, you're not quite sure what's going on here. You know there's a camera here and there's something in the background. That's a dish, okay? So you know he's got some connection to all that stuff. She's got her hands on the tree, she's in trees, you know, she's deep into trees, okay? You have no idea, you know, there's nothing to tell you specifically what field he's in. So it doesn't zero in. She's a teacher, that's easy to tell. All factors put together, all right? Everything put together, all the things we've talked about, which one does it all the best? 3. I agree. I agree. Okay, good job. Now that's putting all of your information to work, okay? With the information you've got, you now can take a good picture because you understand what makes a good picture. All right, you know when you see it, then now you need to go out and do it. Now, with your cameras, all right, let's look at your cameras for a minute. You turn your cameras on and go into the menus. My menu has a gazillion different things on it. But one of the settings, do you take pictures with your camera and you go back later and look, and do you ever pay attention to the date and the time that was taken? Anybody ever take, if you transfer your images to your computer, and you look on your computer, it says, here's, image MS 641, and it has the date and the timestamp, okay, on it and everything. If it's wrong, that means you didn't set your camera. The first thing you're supposed to do when you get your new camera is to set the date and time, and the time zone, okay? If you don't do that, then everything you take is out of whack. And you didn't take that picture at 1 o'clock in the morning, you took it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Or you actually took it at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, but it says you took it at 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I mean, it's just whacked out because you didn't set your camera. It's all in the menu here. And all those things are here in your menu. Okay, there should be a place, I have a place to set my image size, my JPEG quality, my review time. I have a place to set, what's that? I can format. Here's the thing, and I just read this in my new camera, which is interesting. I've never seen this before. It says that I should format my disk on my computer and then format it on my camera. Now the reasoning for that, I'm sure, is because is your computer a Mac or a PC? And it makes a difference in terms of your card reading later on your computer. So if you format it on your computer, then it kind of acclimates it to what it's going to be doing later on and what it's going to be communicating with. Then you set it in you put it in your camera and you format it, and it formats it to your camera's style. Okay? Now after that, when you transfer your images, you should always reformat your disk, your memory card, in your camera, not on your computer. And the less deleting on your camera, the better. If you absolutely have to, like if you take a picture and run away, that's not going to work. I just took a picture of the ground, that was stupid. I need that, space, so I'll delete that. Ideally, they tell you